Hello and welcome to another episode of the WFNY GuardsCast, part of the Waiting for Next Year community and brought to you by YSN. I am your host, Joe Gerbs, and tonight I am joined by Matt, the Wizard Milner, and for the first time for your listening ears, we have Chris, nickname to be defined, King. Chris is joining us. Chris, how are you doing? How are you feeling about being on the podcast?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to talk guards ball, and I'm excited to talk Milan Tolentino, mostly entirely, because I feel like he's an underrated prospect that no one talks about.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I agree, because like everybody just thinks, oh, he's just like a glove first style prospect, but I think he has a little bit of like something with the bat. So he's very intriguing in that way.
He had 21 homers at AAA last year. Like, there's got to be something there.
There's always something somewhere, you know. And if God bless the Guardians, they're gonna get the squeeze out of the juice, you know. So we'll see anybody up here at any point in time. So. All right. Well, without further ado, we want to get into some stuff because we have a really cool thing that I started last year, and yes, it's really cool because I started it. But I did it with Ethan. It's I call it pen and pencil. So there's things that you would write down in pen or things that you write down in pencil. Pen is stuff that you can pretty much lock in. And then pencil, obviously, you can erase and say like this might be it. You know, when you're doing crossword puzzles. If you do crossword puzzle in pen, you know what you're doing. But if you you're doing it in pencil, I'm not sure on that one. But we will get to that. First off, we have, of course, the WBC is going on. I caught some flack from Dave from not knowing everyone that is in it. And also it has been a topic of our private side Discord today, a whole bunch. Again, Travis Bazana is the only Guardian of note that is in the WBC. Logan Allen is in for Canada. He may be on the opening day rotation, but Bazana, I feel like, is the big name. Have you guys been watching the WBC or no?
Isn't Logan Allen for Panama?
Yeah, he's for Panama.
Is he in for Panama? I thought he was for Canada. That was my bad.
Yeah, and Matt Festa is Team Italy. So we have some. We do have some Guardians scattered around the WBC. And to answer your question, yeah, I've watched a good amount of it. Pool play has been very interesting because, for the first time in the history of the tournament, there's been 2 walk-offs, and the one against I think it was the one with Puerto Rico. Like, since it's in the backyard of in their backyard, that San Juan crowd was nuts when that walk-off what happened. So I've watched a good amount of it, and it's been pretty fun.
Chris, have you gotten into it at all or no?
I've only watched some of the highlights from it. It's been tough to get a TV stream going on this stuff right now, but it's been I watched a sad highlight of the Naylor brothers playing together in Canada again. I was like, I remember those days.
I was at I made a trek down to the Columbus Zoo yesterday, and I happened to with my family, and there happened to be a couple that was walking by, and I did not tell them that I have this site or anything like that. So if they happen upon this naturally, please know that I did not mean to be like following you around, but they said something as in passing where they were like, I think they should trade Bo Naylor, and I was like, Cooper Angle's not ready yet, and just and very weird, but and so I ended up seeing them like 3 or 4 more times, and at one point I should have tracked it. He had a Josh Naylor jersey on. I thought it was a Bo Naylor jersey. I happened to be by myself, and I walked past him like, dude wants to trade him away while he's wearing his jersey. That's a bold move. And he's like, this is Josh. I was like, oh, my bad. Like, you're right. I should have known. But yeah, I admittedly, I have not been much of an avid WBC watcher at this point. The little time that I have, I'm not much able to watch a whole bunch of sports because of my girls who just want to watch Abominable and the Invisible Kingdom. Currently, that's their show to choice.
I can't wait for the Gerberry piece about tying that show into the Guardians roster this year.
We'll get there, man.
Ooh,
Don't you worry. I am nothing if not a pop culture savant here, so we'll get there. But we also started, since last week was our first Guards cast. We also have the Yu Chang Awards. So Matt, do you want to show us to let us know the updated rankings for the Yu Chang Award for week 2 of the spring training?
So for week 2, and to so far, the first one is still Petey Halpin. He's still had a really good spring so far. Despite Khalil Watson's 3 strikeouts, he's still very high. He's still at number 2. The one that made a late surge because of the 3-hit game I was at, shout out to Surprise Arizona. I was down there for about 3 days. Angel Martinez is now number 3, and number 4 is Rafi Velasquez, and number 5 is wait, hold on. Oh, okay, that's what happened. So, yeah, like the top 4 is Petey Halpin, Khalil Watson, Angel Martinez, Rafi Velasquez, and to round it out, I went with Chris's boy, just because he's had a really good spring. Like my bad, I got the names mixed up, but yeah, like he has made a good impression so far in the spring, like not just with the glove but with the bat. So I put him at number 5.
Here we go. Tolentino getting 2 shout outs, getting the shout out introduction and on the Yu Chang list.
These are the times that Tolentino has lived for, basically. So
hopefully he's Googling himself how many times he gets mentioned on podcasts.
Right. I will tag him in
this.
Absolutely, I will. All right. So what I did was earlier this week, I asked you guys to give me each 3 pens and 3 pencils. So I'm not going to go down the list, but I wanted to start out one that we had one that was one guy that shows up on 2 different pen lists. Matt, you had Jose hitting going for a 30-30 this year, written in pen. This year, I had Jose Ramirez and Kyle Manzardo both hitting 30 home runs. So I want to talk about Jose real quick. This feels very much like this is going to happen. You know what I mean? Like it at least the 30-30 that feel the home runs, the steals feel right. Do you guys agree? I almost put pencil 40-40. I'm not quite sure I'm ready to go there yet, but it does feel like it's something that could possibly be there. But he's as almost sure of a lock as there is in MLB for 30-30. Am I right, Chris?
I agree. I think he's just a shoe-in for a 30-30 season, and I think he won't rest in his career until he gets to 40-40. I think that really is something that's like a bug in the back of his brain after getting so close a couple of years ago. I think he needs that, but I don't think he'll get there. I think 40-40 is so rare, even though Jose is the GOAT, and he can do pretty much anything he sets his mind to. I think 30-30 is a great pen.
Yeah, you might as well just chisel it in stone, not just write it in pen. You just chisel it in stone, it's like the one thing that you can guarantee that's going to happen every year, just because of how consistent he is. So that's why I went with that as my first pen.
Yeah, I'm with you. The power numbers, he hasn't been lagging really at the power. 30 seems to be like a pretty solid lock. The 1 year he missed 40-40 was by the home run, and it was obviously the rained out game. It all happened in 161 as opposed to 162, but we nevertheless we press on. So we'll do this this way. I do have a spreadsheet. I want to get us locked in, pen pencil, on what we want to do here. So I'm going to recreate these. But do you, Matt, are you pen on Jose, or you're obviously a pen on Jose 30-30, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I am also a pen on that. Chris, are you a pen on Jose 30-30?
100%.
Okay. Awesome. I had again, one of my pens, Kyle Manzardo and Jose 30 home runs each. Matt, you had Kyle Manzardo 30 home runs as a pencil. Why do you hate Kyle Manzardo?
Okay. To be fair,
That's where we're at. That's where I
did
got you right now.
he did hit 27 home runs in his first full season, so he was very close to getting 30 home runs. But I guess I wrote it in pencil just because I simply just need to see it. He hasn't had that long of a career just yet. He's very capable, just to put that out there. But you just got to show that he can hit those extra 3 home runs because he's very capable of doing it. I just wasn't as confident about it, I guess you could say.
Okay.
This
All
kind of
right.
doubt on Kyle Manzardo, and he's
There's
the
a big
2026
doubt.
award winner of best shape of his life for spring training. I feel like he's the one that has
20 pounds of muscle,
Yeah.
Kyle Manzardo.
Yeah. You don't think he got 3 more home runs in him?
I know it sounds so lame to be like, oh, he can't hit 3 more home runs, but I don't know. It's like he's still young. Definitely not saying he's not capable of doing it. It's just like I'm not gonna put it as one of my in pen choices just yet.
I get
What
it,
I
but
will
I'll
say
also
to
say
this, to adding one, I do think that just a little bit of positive regression, for him, there's a little bit of growth. I think he could definitely get there. Last year he had a little bit of a sag in the summer, but also this year I think that with David Fry, with Reese Hoskins, either one of those being on the roster and healthy, and producing, I think protects him a little bit more against some of those tricky left-handers. He did have good home run numbers against lefties last year, but I do think it allows him to have that kind of protection to where he's not, getting in his head, not getting in a spot where he's struggling against those guys. So, or while he may give up a few, plate appearances against lefties, he may actually tick up some other numbers in other places because he's not having those down, sullen moments. So that's where I'm at on it. Okay, so I'm going obviously pen on Jose and Kyle, both 30 home runs. Matt, are you there as well? Have I convinced you, or are you gonna say a pencil to it?
I'm just gonna stick with my pick just because I want to see the
Okay,
rest
I'll
of
write
the
you. I'll keep
choices.
you at pencil. I'll keep you at pencil. That's fine. Chris, are you Kyle 30 home runs? Yes. Kyle 30 runs home? No. Are you sticking both 30-30? Both of them 30 plus.
I am so at Kyle Manzardo is going to 30 home runs that was actually going to be my third in pen until I saw you write it down in the spreadsheet, and I was like, oh no, he's already got it. I'll get something else in there.
All right. So you're going yes on
Yes.
on pen. Are you going Kyle? Obviously, you're saying yes on 33 for Jose. You would obviously say Kyle Manzardo, yes, 30 home runs on that one, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I am going to leave off on the spreadsheet just for those wondering. I'm leaving off I'm checking no on Kyle Manzardo pencil for us. Matt, you get your pencil over there. You're allowed since you hate Kyle Manzardo as a prospect.
Okay.
What personal vendetta do you have against him?
What are we talking about here, man? All right. We are going to switch to the pitching side. I have Cade Smith, pen, 30 plus saves. Matt has Cade 100 Ks for the third straight year. I think he's the unquestioned closer for the team. He obviously is going to be, taking off this year. I think, well, I don't suspect that the team will be in the division race. I do think that they are a pretty close spot for a playoff spot, a wild card spot, getting in the playoffs. I think so. I think they have enough games that they're going to be able to win 30 and have 30 saves. Chris, where do you feel, since Matt and I both made this their pen, where are you feeling about Cade this year going into the season?
I feel as strong about Cade as I do about Jose, which is probably the greatest compliment I could give to a Cleveland baseball player. I think he's shown that level of consistency of high performance. I just don't know if he's going to get to 100 Ks again. That's such a specific number, and it was mind blowing when he did that as a rookie. I can't believe he's done it in back-to-back years.
I guess
I
why
think, yeah. Go ahead, Matt. This is your pen, so go ahead. I'm gonna lock Chris in and I into the pen for 30 saves. We'll see where you're at. Where you obviously are good with 100 straight K or 100 Ks. Why don't you make this the point for the saves or the Ks here?
I guess why I feel so confident with him hitting 100 Ks again is just because the caliber of pitcher he is as a closer, like his ability to, like, with his fastball, to get on pitchers with his extension on top of the breaking balls that he has. Like, he at times can be so unhittable, so unfair that, like, I just feel about as confident as anybody that he can do it again, despite the fact that he's a reliever, that he can get to 100 Ks again.
My only question about him getting to 100 Ks, and I think this is where I'm at. I'm with you. I think he will get it. The only question to me is him being the closer, pretty much unquestionable. Teams tend to keep that closer available in save situations. Cade was able to get there at 100 because he was the fireman. He was coming in whenever they needed a stop, and so he was used probably more than he will be used as a closer going forward. I'm still with you. I will say yes to your pen on 100 straight Ks. Chris, are you a pen on 100 straight Ks as well?
I am gonna go with a pencil on this one. I'm
Go with a
gonna
pencil on it. Okay.
I'm gonna
okay.
be cornered into being the Cade Smith hater. I'm gonna say he only gets to 99 Ks.
Gotcha.
Oh,
okay.
okay.
We all gotta be haters
99.
at
You
some
could
point.
be like 90. Like, oh, you just like listed by 10.
I mean, when we're out here, you're making bets. You look at it. Sometimes it's okay. Well, if he can get 35 PRAs, or but he ends up with 34, you're like, whatever. 99 is still less than 100. But yeah, I agree with you. I agree with the take, Chris. I get it. It's not necessarily hate on Cade. It's just the fact that for me, he might not be used as much, but I do think that when he is used, he's going to be pretty dominant. So I'm in agreement on that with you guys. We had 2 Stephen Kwan ones on here, but it actually ends up being Chris, you mentioned in your pen, no Kwan extension before opening day. And Matt, you brought up how he might play 80 plus games in center field this year. Chris, first off, talk about a little bit of why you think no extension for Kwan. And then Matt, once he's on, I want you to talk about where you think he's going to end up being in the lineup defensively.
I think with the way that the last offseason went with free agent outfielders, he's not just priced out of Cleveland. I think he's excited to get on the open market. With the coming possible salary cap, we'll see what happens with the next CBA. There could be ways that the Guardians have to increase payroll because they put in a salary floor. So spending that money on a guy like Kwan would be great. But one, I don't think they get ahead of that like that. And two, I just think that Kwan saw all the dollar signs out there and has it written in his notebook that he's going to make big, big money.
Yeah, I am with you. I think if there was going to be a Kwan extension, it was going to be 2 years really ago. But last year was really the kind of like make or break year. Now it feels like they,
Agreed.
Use him in center field to bolster his trade value, and then possibly if they're out of it by July, they may trade him out, or maybe Juan Brito is this is a tease. Maybe Juan Brito is rocking it out at second base, and they move Travis Bazana to center, and they can say see you to Kwan and get some pieces for the future. Who knows? They're a front office that constantly has moving parts. Matt, where do you think he is going to be used this year? You have 80 games in center field. Obviously that is over half a year, or just about half a year. You think he's going to be the everyday center fielder or pretty much every day?
I think with the way things are going, the way things are trending in spring training, he is going to be in center. Whether that is just to boost value for his trade value, to boost opportunities for guys in the corners, because like him playing in left field, fantastic, obviously, but it's almost overkill with how good of a fielder he is. But now since you have an ability to maybe move him over to center field just because of the surplus of outfielders that need opportunities, it makes sense why he will at least get 80 games in center field. Whether that's he hits that mark after the trade deadline, that's the question, I guess.
Yeah, I'm probably with you. I do like the idea of him being in center. They've talked about it for, fans have been talking about it for years. That he came up as a center fielder. Why are we wasting his talents, defensively and left, which, a much less, daunting defensive spot in left field.
And he's had issues in the past where he's pulled hammies before, so less wear and tear. He's able to
right.
Maintain himself throughout the year compared to center field.
Yeah,
Chris,
that seems like
Go ahead.
seems like a good reason why he should get over 80 games in center field, but maybe not more than 80 games in center field. There's just he needs some time in left field, probably just to keep himself healthy.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think also you can see a situation where maybe against, left-handers, they have Angel Martinez playing center field and move Kwan over to left, because you're going to keep Kwan's bat in the lineup. Obviously he gets days off. Well, that's fine. But even if he moves over to the left, because your corner outfields are more likely being taken over by guys that are left-handed hitters that are going to be tougher guys. So you put, Angel in center with Kwan over to left. In right field, you have possibly Fry, maybe Jonathan Rodriguez. Who knows what that looks like. But you're limiting the amount of times you have somebody in, the limiting the amount of left-handers you have in the lineup, because you can always move Kwan back over to center if he needs to. I'm going to say,
when the other two choices in center field besides Angel are also lefties. If we're doing we're doing if we're doing Nolan Jones, which is still a weird thing. I can't believe Nolan Jones is a center field option.
To be honest, it's not on the list. I don't know that Nolan Jones is going to make the roster, guys. I really don't.
It's getting close.
We're teetering off that edge. Yeah.
So I am a yes on the pen for Kwan, 80 games in center field. Chris, are you also?
Yes, I think that makes the most sense.
Okay. All right, so that's a clean sweep there. One option they could have in center field. He actually shows up 3 times across our sheet here. Chase DeLauder. Matt, you have him in pencil, 100 plus games. Chris, you had CDL in the starting lineup, and I had him in pencil for 20 plus home runs. I can tell you I struggled on my end putting him at 20 plus. I almost would have put him there with Penn had he not had this injury scare this spring already, where he was a little sore. It is, what would they say, lower extremities? I don't know.
Lower half. Didn't even really specify what it was, just said lower
tired
half.
Legs, basically.
Classic hockey injury. Lower body injury.
Needed a blow. I don't know. I would have put him at 20 plus in Penn if I knew that he was going to play 5 out of 6 a week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It seems like that's pretty much where you are also, Matt, with 100 plus games. I think we all pretty much have him. I'm going to just wipe Chris's probably yes to a pen. He's going to, barring injury, he's going to make opening day. We're all in agreement. Yes to that pen.
Yeah. That feels pretty safe to say. Yeah.
Where do you feel, Matt, about 20 plus home runs for DeLauder?
He is very well capable of hitting 20 plus home runs. It's just again, and this might be just a thing that will haunt his career no matter what. It's just like his injury status, like his health, like because right now, like the Guardians are basically treating him like Byron Buxton, and like we know with Byron Buxton, he's one of the best players in the league, like when he's healthy. So like it's just one of those things of like, hey, how available is he going to be throughout the year? Which is why I had a hard time putting any stats down for Chase. I just went with like the 100 games because like if he can get to 100+ games this year, it's a success. Like, and it just gives you like a baseline of like, hey, we can do this with him if we can maintain him the right way.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think there's a possibility. I mean, he is good enough to where I think he could actually get 20 even if he has 100 games. You know what I mean? Like his swing is as unorthodox as anything. We talked about it last week that, it's not one of those sweet Griffey swings. It is violent. It is a big old swing. Chris, where do you feel about DeLauder 20 home runs on the season?
After seeing that 98-mile-an-hour inside fastball that he pulled for a home run, I'm all in. I'd inject it in my veins. Just what a swing. Like you said, it's not a pretty swing, but it's so effective when he makes contact.
Do you guys think he's going to get 100+ games? Yes or no?
I feel fairly certain that he will, barring any major injuries. Like, and just for clarity, most of his injuries have not been like super long ones. It's just been like the annoying ones that like have lingered throughout the year.
We discussed last week. He had the hamate bone, then he had like an ab issue, and like they've been just random things that nothing's long term. Not a recurring issue. It's not like it's his foot, and then it's his ankle, and then it's his foot again, or anything like that. It is like weird stuff. Chris, 100 games, yes or no?
Man. My spirit wants to say yes because I believe in the kid as a hitter, and I believe that health is possible.
My body's telling me yes.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that for two reasons. I think he is going to have an injury at some point. I think he's going to stay in the majors all year. I think he's going to make opening day, even though they're playing the Cubs and Imanaga and Boyd are probably their top two starters who are both lefties. I still think he starts opening day, even against a lefty.
Oh,
but I think that they sit him a bit against lefties matchup wise. And then I think he's just going to have like a 15-day DL or a 15-day IL stint at some point where something comes up.
This is anecdotal. Can someone at some point, not right now, obviously, I don't want you to, void out brainwise on the podcast. It feels like we face a left-hander every opening day. And it makes our opening day lineup like really wonky.
It also just makes opening day a bad time because we haven't hit a lefty in about 20 years.
Of course, with opening day, like the home opener being one of the biggest crowd drawers, it always gives the people who maybe show up to a game or two the worst impression. So I totally understand where you're coming from, where it's just the timing of it just sucks every time.
Yeah, the most excited I've been watching an opening day game was a couple of years ago when Ben Lively had to fill in as the opening day guy, and he hadn't had any track record at that point. And I was like, hey, this Ben Lively, he's doing okay right now. Yeah. Because it was like no expectation. Yeah. It doesn't matter if we're not hitting. It's just one guy doing better than expected. And I'm like, what a great time I'm having. Usually it's like, hey, cool, we can't hit Mark Burley for 8 innings.
All right, let's go with a weird one here. One of my pencils was George Valera will end up in the top 5 for Rookie of the Year. And yes, I did check. He does have rookie status. But part of the Nolan Jones not making the lineup, making the roster, is in part because I think Valera is just really, really good right now. And has been taken off in summer, in spring. I have not checked what his quality of opponent is so far this spring. I know it was not as great, but I mean he's as I've said, I think you just want guys to actually be able to be hitting right now as opposed to not hitting. Um, he's technically at a 7.6, which is close to AAA level. It actually is one of the highest for our outfielders. Non-roster invitee guys that are like, 2 and 3. But out of the guys that have actually been playing, almost every day, Angel Martinez, 19 playing appearances, 7.8. Kwan's 22, 7.8. And then Valera 7.6, with actually the most plate appearances at 24. 857 OPS in the spring so far. He's hit 1 home run, 4 RBIs. He has struck out 7 times, but he's being productive with the at-bats that he's given, and he's showing that he can do the things that the team is asking. I think he's going to continue on the hot streak that he had at ending last year. And as long as he's been healthy, he's always hit in the minors. So I think that it's just been a question of health for him. I think, if we're able to get that out of him where he is healthy, I think he's there. So, Matt, where do you think Valera top 5 rookie of the year?
Man, that's always tough because it's hard to project like what the rookie of the year race will be. But I mean, if he is like a solid, like strong side of the platoon bat, I think he might get some love. I just don't know if it will be top 5. That's the part that's tricky because it's like, but I don't know. It's tricky.
So you hate Kyle Manzardo and George Valera. Got it. Do you like the Guardians?
Have you ever liked Cleveland baseball?
Do you enjoy the power of friendship?
I've been going to so many games the past however many years.
You're the one that's actually in Cleveland out of anybody on this podcast, and so
I am arguably the most positive person in the Discord when everything goes
with
awry.
1,000%. You are the homer of homers in our Discord. Trust me.
And it's not even like it's not even like I'm so homer I'm blind to it. It's just I am like but I understand that because of like how
I got you on tilt right now. That's where I like to keep you. I like to keep you right there, right on the edge. Chris, where are you at with Valera?
You got me worked into a shoot. That's what you got me
right. I did
now.
get you there.
But
go ahead.
Okay, but yeah, I definitely feel like he will produce. Like I think that's very apparent. If he's healthy, he's going to produce. The swing is there. Like, and I feel like he's going to be like, and I think Bodie said this, where like, who is like a prospect post hype? And it sort of reminded me of Lonnie Chisenhall in a way where like post hype, if George Valera is sort of like that with more pop, he will be an instant fan favorite. Like, and I know that for certain, especially with that sweet of a swing. My God.
Yeah, when Valera, like even going back to his AAA days, when they would show highlights on Twitter, it was great to see him pimp a home run. He would go out, like when he knew he got one, and he let everybody know that he got it. And I think that's really exciting from a young player to do that. It's like, first of all, to have the ability to do it, and second, to know that you did it, and 3, to just say, hey, I'm just gonna let you know that I know what I got here.
And he did it in the wild card series, so like we know it's in there, so for sure.
Yep. I mean, he had a 107 OPS plus in the limited at bats at the end of last year in the majors. So he was producing
against major league players, so major league pitching. So,
yep.
Chris, are you with me on top 5, or are you against me?
All that positivity, I have to say that this is the wildest take of all of our pen and pencils. Is that he's going to be a top 5 in the rookie of the year? Listen, I think at his peak, he's going to have a Nolan Jones of, was it 3 years ago now, where he had the 20 home run season with the Rockies. I think that's like the peak of what Valera could do this year, not his career, but I don't think that's a top 5 rookie of the year finish. I think that
I think it could be, but
it could be. It could. I mean, it would feel like a down rookie class if that's top 5 rookie
Sure.
of the year, but
Yeah,
it's also very productive.
Right. I think, and I'm not saying he's going to win. I mean, Jody Garrett was at one point in the a finalist for the Rookie of the Year. So
I was a believer. I can't
I
believe
was
he didn't
there
work
too.
out.
Trust me.
Five-tool
Garrett
player,
was
Jody
possibly
Garrett.
a jersey that I owned at one point in time. We don't do jerseys in the Gerberry household. We have too much of a curse on our home, on our bloodline to own a jersey. So we do jerseys here because they're cheaper.
Oh man, I just bought this hoodie at the Cavs game that I went to on Martin Luther King Day, and it has Darius Garland on it. So I understand the curse of the jersey.
Yeah.
I bought it like a week before he got dealt.
So
I was at that game too. Ouch.
Matt and Chris, you both were yes or no?
I'm gonna say no on this one.
Also no.
Also no. Okay. All right. I'm alone on Valera Island. That's where I'm at. So last one that's one off here, and then we have a couple that are kind of combined. Chris, you had in pencil Bo Naylor 20+ home runs. We've already kind of talked about him a little bit, about Cooper Engel being ready or not ready. You're a believer in Bo here?
I'm a believer in Bo. I think he's got the swing looking pretty good this spring already. And you could see the power stroke there last year. You could see him working on it. Felt like every at bat was just a step closer last year. And then by the end of the year, he was putting it back together. And I think he's kind of gotten to not like I think he's not as good as Josh Naylor at just contact ability. So he's gotten to the point where he's just decided, I'm going to try and find the time to use my A swing. I'm going to try to get my 100% effort swing out there as much as I can. And I think he's finally found a way to channel that. And I think it's going to lead to power production and probably still a 200 batting average, but 20 home runs.
Yeah, it's interesting because like he's changed his stance over the past year. Like in the back half, like he had completely eliminated when he was swinging, he was more like spread out. Now he's more in like a traditional stance where he's using more of a toe tap. Now his timing mechanism is a lot more clean compared to where it was. It felt like so many moving parts that he felt behind on certain pitches. Now it feels like he has more of an ability to be on time and hit to all fields with better power. And we saw that in the spring. We're seeing that in the WBC, and it just feels like he's more balanced and more on time with his swing. It more so in his career than at any point. So like I actually kind of am a believer in the 20 homer Bo Naylor club here.
I'm going to be the Debbie Downer here. I'm going to say no on it. I just think that the swing and miss stuff is a little bit too much for me. I do think that there is something to be said about the fact that he was doing better with, a little bit more. He was looking more like an all-star-ish catcher last year at the end of the season. But I do worry about the swing and miss stuff, lacking that contact ability. And so I think that there's just a possibility he is going to have a more productive year, but just not as much of a power hitter this season, which, I think like you were saying, I see him wanting to like produce more by, getting bat on ball, whereas you are saying he wants to produce more by swinging harder.
I see.
I think he's going to try to do a little bit more, connecting than anything here. So I'm going to I will be out on the Nailers, I guess. And that's not because I own Cooper Engel in a dynasty league and I think that he's not ready yet.
I was going to say, didn't you tell the people at the zoo that Cooper Engel isn't ready yet?
I did say Cooper Engel is not ready yet, but that doesn't mean that I think Bo is ready to be traded off. I think he's going to have a more productive year. I think ultimately it'll be a better year for Bo. I just don't see the 20 there. They like to use and with Fry being able to catch this year, I think there's less like late inning appearances for him, which will limit his ability to get those, late inning off a reliever kind of a home run stuff. I think that I don't think Fry's going to start any games at catcher, but I do think that there will be just fewer at bats for Naylor to get those numbers. So that's me.
All right.
I don't know.
Why do you hate Bo Naylor, Gerbs?
There
I
it
told
is.
you. I told you. There it is.
It had to come. It had to come.
All right. There's 3 that we have that are all kind of pencil-y here. So I will kind of combine these together. Chris and I both basically mentioned, you said that Travis Bazana is going to start the year in Columbus on opening day. I said he's not going to show up. He will be with the team before June. But I don't think he's going to be on opening day, obviously. It seems like it's just not this team's MO to fast track these guys. DeLauder would have been up last year. He had his major league debut in the playoffs. He would have been up last year had he been healthy. He just wasn't. They identified the fact that, they can put him in there and he can be a plus for the playoffs, and that's why they did that. I just don't see where they look at Bazana and think that him starting opening day benefits the team the most. And so I'm with you on that. Do you guys agree? Everyone agree on that one?
Yeah, he will probably be like a late May, early June type of call up. It fits the team's MO, and I think that's just where he's at in his career right now. Like, he didn't play a ton in AAA. Like, he also had like an oblique issue, so like he didn't get a lot of at bats in AAA. So I think he'll probably need a little bit more seasoning, quote unquote, to like show that he deserves his promotion.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would add in that the wrinkle of, I think, actually being in the World Baseball Classic kind of eliminated any chance of him making the opening day roster. I think if he was going to make opening day, he was going to be in spring training with the team the entire time. But I think being on the World Baseball Classic roster was better for his career. I think that's being on that stage, being able to play for something meaningful like that, like playing for your country, is better for his career, better for his development as a player. And I'm going to be grumbling when he's smoking the ball all through April and he's not up with the team until June. But I understand that that's probably just how it's going to go.
Yes, there definitely will be some fans on Twitter that are upset about, every highlight will be like, oh, why isn't he here? The guy
that'll be me.
That
can't believe
I
you're just
wrote
pulling me out
last week, which you could again see on waitingfornextyear.com as well as ysnlive.com. You can // WFNY on that. And you can find all of our articles in both those places. Chris, in Pencil, you had Juan Brito getting the most starts at second base over the season. You think he's going to be the opening day second baseman, or at least the one that gets the most? I wrote this week, like I said last week, that I think they are best used as Brito being the second baseman. Send Gabby Arias to the Rays so we can hit 30 home runs there for them, because that's just
you've been milking that take for like 3 years.
It's like it's the canon event that's going to happen. It's a fixed point in time. I don't know how to tell you this. It's just it's what's going to happen.
He's going to hit 30 home runs for them 1 year, and then they're going to trade him off for like some starting pitching prospect
100%.
or some junior Caminero prospect.
I remember now, Jose Aguilar. That was the guy. I couldn't remember his last name. His last name, but it's a Jose Aguilar situation where he's going to go somewhere else. He's going to take off immediately. Everyone's going to be like, "Why couldn't we make this work here?" And then we're going to be like, because he wasn't good here. I don't know what to tell you. There's nothing you can do. That, like, sometimes it just happens.
A long list of evidence that said he sucked, and you guys said he sucked. Like, what do you want us to do?
Right. No one wanted him here. Why are we all upset about this? He was finally gone. Anyway, I take that back. I'm fine.
Everything's cool.
Deep breaths.
We're all cool. We're talking about Juan Brito right now.
Yeah, I think
So
Juan Brito is going to kind of be the winner by default in most second base starts. I think he's going to get the longest opportunity. If it's Arias or if it's Rocchio at second base, I think whoever starts there doesn't hit well enough, and then Rocchio ends up as the shortstop and Arias ends up gone is my prediction on that. But I think then Brito gets the first call, and I don't think it even lasts a month for either Arias or Rocchio. I think before the end of April, Brito gets the call, and we see Brito for somewhere close to half the season. And then it might be Bazana time.
Yeah, because like Juan Brito's up against it in terms of options, so it's go time for him. So like it's put up or shut up.
Is he out of
So
options already?
he was out of options, I think, at the end of last year. Yeah.
Okay, so he's got to be on the opening day roster then.
He was with the team the whole year last year. Yeah. So
okay. Yep.
The only reason I would bump on this is because I think Bazana comes up mid-season and then plays the rest of the year at second. That's my only thing. I desperately want this to be the thing because I think that Brito can be a good bat for the lineup. But I also think there's this chance that they use him as a utility guy once Bazana is up there, which means that he won't be playing second base. So I am going to say no to Bazana or to Brito getting the most second base at bats on the team, just because I think Bazana comes up eventually and is just there. It's just a fixture. So I'm going to say no to that. Chris, you are obviously a yes. Yep. Matt, where are you at on it?
I think I feel like I'm leaning towards no, just because he might be that utility guy that bounces around, sort of like Fry. And this has been a problem when he was brought over here, because we could never pinpoint like what exactly is your position. And so I think their answer is, well, we're just going to bounce him around, and if the bat travels, the bat travels. So we'll figure it out.
Right. All right, last three we have one more pencil and then two more pens. So we're gonna get to we've talked all the time about all these other hitters. We've touched on one closer. We have not touched on the thing that the team does the best, which is starting pitching. Matt, you have Gavin Williams as quote unquote staff ace. I would love to know what you actually qualify that as. But Chris, in pen, you have that Tanner Bybee will lead the team in the pitching triple crown, wins, ERA, and Ks. So you guys are legit competing against that. I don't know how you're becoming the staff ace while someone else is leading the team in all the other stats. So
yeah,
or you're against.
It's definitely my most hot takey take of the group that I submitted.
And my last pen is also what I thought was one of the hotter takes, that the team will have four or more starting pitchers. I specifically put 4+, 4+ starting pitchers with 10+ wins. This, to the best of my scouting and research, has not happened since 2018 for Cleveland. That was the year that Kluber won 20 and I believe won the Cy Young. But I can go back. I'm not going to. I did at one point this morning, I think, when I was just barely waking up. But it has not been done in at least once in the last 8 to 10 years. So real quick, because mine kind of, you guys can fight out whatever you guys want to fight out. Are we in agreement on mine? 4+ pitchers. So you're talking Bybee, Gavin, Slade Ciccone, Joey Cantillo, Parker Messick, Logan Allen. Are 4 out of those 5-6 guys, and I specifically also said starting pitchers. This is not going to be like, Pedro Avila comes in and sneaks out a win here, because pitcher wins are dumb.
Wait, we don't think Luis Ortiz is sneaking in with 10 wins this year?
He's gonna sneak in something. I don't know.
The California Penal League.
Right. Yeah, man is sneaking in disses to Emmanuel Clase right now while the noose is around his neck.
Yep. First time.
Right.
Oh man. So Gerbs, who do you think the 4 are? You said
to me it is it's Bybee and then Williams. I think Messick will be there.
Okay.
And I also have pretty high hopes on Cantillo.
Okay. I was
being the
going to say
guy.
Slade would be the fourth one, but okay, you're going Cantillo.
Slade is a definite possibility, and honestly, that's why I buffered it a little bit and said 4. I think they're all 5 have a chance of it, but I gave myself that wiggle there if it was Slade or Cantillo. Is it Cantillo? It's Cantillo, right? Am I saying?
I've always went with Cantillo.
Cantillo.
I think it might be Cantillo.
That's fine.
I've heard both on broadcast.
Cantillo. We'll go. Majority wins here. We'll look later at Also, for the record, if you ever had like 20 minutes to spare, go on like the reference sites and look at some of the guys like nicknames that they're given. Basketball more than anybody gets it way more, but there are some hilarious nicknames out there. For the record, it does look like it's Cantillo, so that's fine.
Confirmed by the WFNY GuardsCast, Cantillo.
Yeah, but my favorite is Jimmy Garoppolo. Has a nickname of Prince Ali. No one has called him that in his entire life.
Prince Ali.
There's no way. What? What?
There's no
I've
way.
heard Jimmy Jesus. I've heard Jimmy GQ. Jimmy G, of course. Like
there's no way on God's green earth. That man edited
is
his own
Italian
Wikipedia.
L too. Like, where is Prince Ali coming from?
Did Michael Ray guy do a Patriots color commentary?
I don't know, man. Jimmy Garoppolo made up his own nickname and put it in. He wikied it. He edited his own wiki. That's all I got. That's the only way it happened. That's the only thing I can say. That's my favorite one. My favorite one is that one. But yeah, if you have 10 minutes to spare, go and check out basketball, football, more than baseball. But there are some crazy nicknames out there for people. Anyway, I like Cantillo a little bit more than Slade. I do think Slade is going to be I think the whole rotation is going to be productive this year. The only starter that I really have a hard time seeing be anything, because we've seen him not be anything, is Logan Allen. He just feels like a jag to me. Everybody else in the rotation feels like they have, a little bit more upside. They all could take off at any point and be those guys that are just all of a sudden there. And Gavin looks like he's going to be an ace if he holds on to what he was able to do last year. He looks like he's a guy that could take off and be a guy. Tanner is already there. He's signed us the team. He'll get the ball on opening day because he signed the extension. And he's just already there. Slade looked nails down the line last year. Cantillo made some guys look silly. And Messick came up and like no issue being a dog for that team down the line as well. When they went to that 6-man rotation, it really helped them out. And honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to that at some point in the year this year, with some injuries. But that's where I'm at. What say you guys to the? I will get. Like I said, I'm going to take mine, and then I'm getting out, and I'm going to let you guys fight about Tanner and Gavin here. Yes or no? 4 starting pitchers, 10 wins or more.
Yeah, I think I can get behind that. Like Tanner, wait, what was the question again?
I'm writing it in pen. This is pen. This is not just pencil. I'm there. Are you there, Matt? That's what I'm asking you. Are you with me? I'm gonna hold your hand like I'm on Wolf of Wall Street right here.
Sure, why not? Like I'll write it in pen. Why not?
Before we get to that, I want to ask you guys. All right, so Bybee had 12 wins. Gavin had 12 wins last year. Who was tied for third place on the team in wins last year? Do you guys know?
Third in wins.
There were two pitchers tied with 8 wins last year.
It was Logan was one of them, right?
Logan was one of them.
Yeah.
Who was the other one?
Sabrowski?
No, but it was another reliever.
Oh man.
I know these because there's some things that just like stuck in the brain.
Oh man. Wait.
It's a weird one. It was Cade Smith. Cade Smith had 8 wins last year.
Yes. He got a lot of backdoor wins. You're right.
Yeah. So with that being said, I'm gonna disagree with this one. I don't think that we're gonna have 4 guys get up to 10 wins because I think it's just so spread out. I mean, obviously we're talking about pitcher wins, which we all know is like a fun stat, but a silly one. But I just don't think that it's going to work out that way for 4 guys to get up there. They had a decent starting rotation at the end of last year, but the wealth got spread out too much.
Yeah, I'm with you, and like I said, it's a big bet, but it's one of those where like you throw a buck on it and it's like plus 2,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's worth the parlay.
We'll see. It's a little like it's 1 for 20. We'll see. Why not?
I love the confidence in Parker Messick though, because ever since he was in that prospect showcase last spring training, I was like, this guy just shoves. He'll just go out there and just give it. And I'm all in for the hype on him. I just don't know if they'll quite get there as a team.
All right, last ones, as we've said, because we're getting now close to our an hour. I was trying to keep it at 45. It went over because we are having a good time. Matt, you are team Bybee. Chris, you are team Chris, you are team Bybee. Matt, you are team Gavin.
Yep.
Sorry, that was my own fault there. Wiz, where are you in on Gavin so much? Being the staff ace.
I guess I just believe in this stuff, and if like he puts it all the way together, there's no question he can be the ace. Like obviously with Tanner, what he's done, he has been a remarkable ace for the team. He's been the steady force when like the team has had a flux at times with the rotation. But if Gavin is able to put it together and keep what he did in the second half rolling, like it could be a situation where it's like a 1A, 1B, where like you have 2 guys like sort of like Carrasco and Kluber, where like you feel pretty good in a game 1, game 2 type of situation, no matter what, you know?
Right.
Yeah, I like that take exactly with the Carrasco Kluber. I just think that Bybee is more of the Kluber and Gavin is more of the Carrasco in the way that Carrasco could pitch as well as Kluber at any point in time. He could sometimes pitch better than Kluber. I don't think Kluber ever got 1 out away from a perfect game, but I think that Bybee is just a bulldog. I think after what he went through last year, where he just had so much tough luck early in the year, to come back from that, show the mental fortitude to put up a very productive season, even though like his baseball reference WAR is only 1.1. He was still like, I think he's the ace as far as like mentality goes, but this year I think it's going to be in the stat sheet as well. I think Gavin Williams is going to get a contract way bigger than Bybee's. He's going to get paid as long as he stays healthy. But
my argument is more based on the stuff, the pure stuff. But I do agree with you that Tanner has like that mentality of an ace, like that he's going to go out there and compete his ass off no matter what. Like even if his stuff is not at an A plus, like, or like he will give you a solid 5 2/3, like, or 6 innings where like you feel pretty good, like when you go to the bullpen, where like he did his job that day. And so I agree with you there.
Gavin will probably always top him in strikeouts if they both have comparable innings pitched, comparable usage. I think that Gavin will put up like the gaudier stats like that, but I think as far as leading the team this year, I think it's going to be Bybee's year, and I think Gavin's going to be right there next to him.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm. You both made compelling arguments. I'm going to actually have to, I think, disagree with both of your takes on the sheet. I think Gavin is going to have a really great year. I don't think he's going to, but I don't think he's going to be the ace of the staff. I think that still is. Tanner is still going to be the guy that's starting opening day. I think he's just the stopper, and where he may not have the big rig fastball, he may not have the flashy K numbers. I think he still is the guy that's like, he is the leader in the clubhouse when you come to it. So I can't say that Gavin's taking full control over here. But to that end, I do think that Gavin's going to have like a better K number, maybe even a win or two more, that kind of thing. But so I can't say that Bobby's going to have the Triple Crown either. If it was simply just a like, you've got the championship belt, then it would be Gavin. But I think it's got to be. I'm going to say no to both of these actually. So
wow, the ultimate zag.
The ultimate zag. I can pull that out whenever I need it here. So,
well, I would like to be able to say yes on both of them, but
right.
I think that's what I literally just can't.
And that's what I think that's
barring an injury
thing is that I think there's it's a little nebulous in just that I think Gavin's going to have a really good year. But I think Bybee is still going to be the guy that's the clubhouse later. That's making is just the guy that they go to. When they start the playoffs, it's going to be Bybee getting the game one ball. And that he's just that dog. And so that's where I'm at. But I do think Gavin's going to end up having the better stats this year overall. But Bybee's just the guy. So
fair enough.
All right. Well, guys, like I said, it is now over an hour. So we are going to wrap it up here. You can always find us again here on Waiting for Next Year Spotify feeds. You can find us on YSN YouTube channel, YSN Live. And I will be back next week. I will also make all of these things into some sort of an article posted on the site so we can come back. I'm going to keep the spreadsheet going so, I can make fun of Matt when Kyle Manzardo hits over 30 home runs. And you know what? I'm going to come back and get both of you when George Valera ends up being a finalist for the Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
If that happens, we all win.
If we all exactly 100%.
Yeah, I'm not going to be a sore loser. I'm going to be a sore winner because we all won. So
right. Do you guys have anything else before we close out tonight?
Nope. I think
all
we're
right.
good.
Well, Chris, it was great seeing you. As we said, I think this is actually the first time that we've either one of us have interacted with you other than just DMs or texting on Discord. But great to have you here. Great to have you part of Waiting for Next Year and moving forward. I think you're gonna be a great addition to the team. I know you've been around for a bit, but just stuff going on with whatever, but we're glad to have you going on here now. So for Matt, the Wizard Milner, for Chris, I will figure out a nickname. I don't know, man. We were thinking about this. Mitch was the doctor for a long time. And then because he was just a med student, now he actually is a doctor. Yep. Ethan, we called him the farmer because he was into prospects and took care of the farm system. So he became Farmer Ethan. I don't remember why you're a wizard.
I maybe because I was the youngest out of all of you guys. I was like, I was still in my mid-20s when I joined.
That would be the Wizard. Do you want to be the Wizard? Kid. I don't know that. I call you the Wizard.
The Wizard's fine. The Wizard's fine.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
Next time we get out here, it's gonna be Matt the Diaper Milner.
Oh, you mean me a diaper? Okay. Sorry. It's slap happy time. It is far too late for me here. We sprung
it's
forward.
Not a Waiting for Next Year podcast if we don't go off the rails at least once.
If we sprung forward, it's 10:40 on my biological clock, and I am deep.
That's true.
So anyway, all right. For Matt Milner, for Chris King, for Prince Ali, Jimmy Garoppolo, this is Joe Gerbs saying go Guards.
Go Guards.
Go Guards.
Go Guards.
YSN thanks you for watching this presentation of Your Sports Network. For stories, stats, and more, go to ysnlive.com.